Hello and welcome to Mandatory Fun Time channel. I am your host Shagitto, and I am here with the Zarninator.
What is up?
And we're back to doing some more world building. Let me switch on over to my OneNotes. And last time we got through friggin' the Shadowdark. We got a lot of good notes, man. I felt really good going through this and getting like a good timeline, and also putting some places down on the map as far as those supplements for Shadowdark. So I liked how this ended up. At the end, a darkness resurgence happens. The heroes seek out forgotten gods to help combat this darkness. They find one that explains that the faint divinities have disappeared due to lack of mana in the world. They must create a new source, separate from the astral plane, to not only bring the faint divinities back, but to also empower the heroes and other adventurers to fight. There will be consequences for this new alien type of magic that will surge into the new world. It will cause mutations, like this thing right here that I thought was really cool, which is like a ribbit from Daggerheart, and then just like a wood elf. They kind of merged together to make this like tree frog looking elf that's like basically a protector of the mana tree.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really cool race.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Super fun. And the way that I was envisioning them, like I figured we could give them a name and then describe them a little bit, because I feel like these type of creatures would, or these type of people would basically become sort of like I wouldn't want to say cult because that's a negative kind of outlook on it, but they become this kind of church of the mana tree, basically.
Almost like a religious order.
Yeah. And they're like the guardians and everything because they have the ability to actually feel what the mana tree's feeling. And I would also have the leader who's actually able to not necessarily communicate, but able to tell like the thoughts of the mana tree. Like if it's excited, upset about something,
right.
I'm not sure how in
tree
depth.
Shaman.
Yeah, a tree shaman,
or like a warden.
Yeah, a tree warden shaman, a shaman warden.
The sham warden.
Yeah. All right, so Church of the Mana Tree. We can definitely come up with a better name than that, but like that's our placeholder. So Church of the Mana Tree.
Yeah, I imagine the tree itself would have a really cool name.
Zealots. Oops. Zealots made up of the Ribbit Elves. One leader is a shaman, basically a shaman of sorts, who's able to communicate with the mana tree.
Ooh, maybe you want to go for it. It's like the shaman, the ribbit elf people discovered that the pollen that the tree gives off. So like when it flowers, maybe they find a way to like use that as a psychedelic, and then like the shaman uses the psychedelic to commune with the tree.
Oh, nice! I like it.
As it has sage advice, or like can give him visions and wisdoms about the world.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I definitely would want that to be a thing where maybe the mana tree has a certain amount of flowers per year. And it's not really known about, but they
kind of keep it like a secret safe thing.
Yeah, and they are able to communicate. Yeah, the shaman will do this ritual to be able to have a conversation with the mana tree. I like that.
And it's really a really well kept secret that like the shaman is a prestigious position, right? But they kind of keep it a secret because the flowers are limited, and they don't want people realizing that they don't want people using it up. They don't want people being like, oh, let me try.
Yeah.
So it's it's like the mystery around the shaman is that like no, the shaman's the one that has the connection with the tree, but it's actually because they figured out that the tree, that the pollen from the flowers has psychedelic properties.
Yeah.
So it's like a big secret. So people come to the shaman for wisdom and stuff like that, and then he does this ritual and all this stuff, and like has visions, and so it gives people another reason to make a pilgrimage to the tree.
Yeah.
And also creates a scenario where there could be an organization of people who think they know what's going on, and they're trying to actually get at that power. They think it's going to be a source of power for them. So it's another reason for the tree to be protected against a group of individuals.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I like it. I like it. Did someone... Von Fungus is in the chat. Did someone mention psychedelics? Yeah, man. Yeah. I like that. I'm glad you brought that up. That was a good twist with the mana tree and basically the shaman. I think that's super smart. I like that a lot. I can definitely see some sort of enemies or some sort of hostile group trying to do this, so that way they're able to talk to this, god and get some sort of answers or power from it. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna try to go beyond just talking to it. Maybe they're trying to go into the mind space of the mana tree.
Yeah, and so you could have so like I was talking about the potential, like the roots of the mana tree grow all throughout the world over time.
Yeah.
You could have little groves that pop up with like sproutlings, with like saplings. And so this group of not so nice people that are interested are going around, and like whenever a sapling is sprouted, they're trying to take it and cultivate it and go to a secret place and try to get it to grow, right? They're trying to recreate the same thing for themselves so they can have more power. So protecting these sprouted groves is important. Or there might be the shaman's wisdom might be like, no, we need to take the saplings and bring them here to the protected place, and we'll cultivate them here. So there could be a struggle there as well.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Von Fungus asks, how you boys doing? I felt summoned.
Yeah, man, we got a psychedelic mana tree. You're just in time.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely gonna be focusing on that for a bit. And then we're gonna delve into some of the actual playtest or handbook, I guess you would say, for Daggerheart. And for those of you who don't know, Daggerheart beta is actually coming to an end this July. I can't remember the day. But at the end of this July. So the beta is going to be over with 1.5, version 1.5. We're currently at 1.42, I guess, but they're going to come out with 1.5, and then they're going to flesh out everything. And from there, I imagine they're going to try to get it out first quarter of next year, so that way they can... Yeah. This is speculation on my part right here. I imagine they're going to get it out first quarter of next year, so that way they can have campaign 4 geared towards Daggerheart, or using Daggerheart system,
So the beta right now, the playtest right now is mostly just mechanical. And then they're gonna, once they've kind of locked that in with like some semblance of a final version, obviously things will change over time. Then they're just gonna focus more on the more world building stuff and fleshing out all the areas and the peoples and stuff. Yeah,
they have a section. Once we get there, I'm gonna like kind of nerd out because I love the stuff that they've put into their playtest, which I touched on a bit earlier with you before stream. But
yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I forgot where I started with this or why I started, but yeah, we're talking about Daggerheart. We're gonna be fleshing that out this session, and probably some more as well. But yeah, Vaughn, we're doing good. Sorry, I got ADHD, man. I'm all over the place. I also have a new kitten that's just running amok right now. His name's Nemo. He's under my chair somewhere, but
Meow meow. Careful,
yep.
kitty. You're gonna get squished. That's how you get squished.
Yeah. 2-month-old little kitten. But yeah, so I'm doing great.
Doing good, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I love
Been a
doing
good week so
this.
far.
Yeah, I always look forward to Thursdays because I love doing this world building. I love like kind of just hanging out and talking. I'm really hoping one day that we have a lot of people in chat and we can have conversations with them as well, and they'll
Oh yeah.
add some ideas to this.
No, I really like the idea of like anybody that's interested in this, like has a cool idea, throw it out there and maybe we can make it work. I think that, a community of people building a world together is a really fun idea.
Yeah. Vaughn had a good question about Critical Role. So then do you think they will leave Alexandria as a trilogy or stay there with the new system? And man, I don't really know. I feel like Matt might want to just create a completely new world, new setting and everything, but I also don't see as to why Alexandria couldn't be destroyed in some way to give birth to Daggerheart world, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're like fighting a moon right now or something. Like, I don't know, man.
It really depends on if they can put a really good period on the end of the sentence and then just let it be what it is,
Yes, exactly. I agree. On that note, though, with Critical Role, their season 3 of the animated Vox Machina comes out this year. I think it's July too, right? Or is it? Might be fall. I think it's in the fall of this year. And then, yeah, I'm looking forward to campaign 2 because I never really got into that during that time.
Yeah, the cartoon is fucking awesome. I mean, freaking awesome.
Friggin'.
It's just so, if you haven't watched it, you gotta watch it. It's just too good.
It's a friggin' knee slapper, guys. All right, you just gotta go and go for it. Give it a go.
Send it, bud.
Yeah, send it. All right, so back to this. We got the Church of the Mana Tree. We'll come up with something better. Also, the Ribbit Elves. We'll kind of figure out a name for these guys as well. Basically, like the Tree Frog Elves. Shaman is able to communicate. So we have also talked about recently from Zarny about the offshoots. And I also want to talk about the roots too. Offshoots and roots of the mana tree. We talked about earlier that they spread the roots themselves. So the roots spread extremely far, but they thin out really quick. So they're not gonna be these like massive like tree roots. The farther away it's just gonna get skinny. It's gonna get skinny to a point, and then just these skinny roots, are often are going off into the world. Now, this could be a good thing, or it could be a byproduct of this new entity called the mana tree. Nothing like this has ever been done before. Like, is the mana tree just gonna like produce mana and like boom, that's cool, that's it, that's all it's got? Or are there gonna be some issues with this mana tree where it's uncontrollable, and maybe the shaman is like, oh shit, the mana tree's telling me that there's a problem and it can't stop it. And now who's the mana tree? Now who's the shaman gonna talk to about this?
Right.
You, the adventurers.
Yeah. I also was thinking about two other natural things that make sense that could affect the mana tree and its roots, because they stretch so far, is like myconid type races or fungus based creatures, or just fungi itself. There's a lot of I know in Oregon it's the largest like living organism in the world. It's a certain type of fungus that instead of feeding on the deadwood of trees and things like that, it actually feeds on living trees. It's like the only fungus that does this. So there could, by the mana tree putting its roots out throughout the world, it could end up in areas where it's not so hospitable for it. And that could start affecting it negatively,
Dude, I like that a lot. I like evil fucking mushrooms, dude. Roots spread extremely far, but they thin out really quickly. I will just say there are ecosystems and creatures that are affected by this. One example, a species of mushrooms that only thrive on living trees or their roots. Okay, I like that. That sounds sick.
Mm-hmm. So there could be conflict there.
Yeah.
Obviously, any remnants of the cult, because I kind of like the idea that the cult of Azgul has always still out there in the shadows, always trying to hold on for what they believe is like a second coming. So anytime the tree has offshoots and saplings in other areas, the cult's going to be really interested in that too.
Yeah. Experimentation, like.
Mm-hmm. Crazy alchemists doing weird experiments and stuff. And these are things that could potentially harm and corrupt the mana tree.
I spell his name.
Like, think of like a mad artificer who wants to make like a giant robotic dragon that needs a ton of power to power it. You know what I mean? Like, there's crazy out there stuff. He wants to make a Mecha Godzilla, and he needs the power of the mana tree to do it, but he can't. No, he can't get into the main source. So he's hired a botanist and an alchemist as his lackeys to like help him do experiments and stuff. So they're always trying to track down groves of saplings and.
Right. And they're probably doing this in a manner of like detecting mana, basically. So they're going to go to spots that are kind of like hot spots for mana. And they're going to look for these saplings that are like sprouting out from this root that's expanding and going everywhere. So yeah, they'll probably go into that area, cause a fuss, trying to pinpoint where it is. And maybe it's close to a village and some shit gets fucked up. Some stuff, some crap. I'm sorry, YouTube. I didn't mean to swear. Looking to experiment with the offshoots and roots of the mana tree. They are, tracking these things by basically like mana hotspots.
Yeah, they're like mana dowsing.
Yeah.
Like the two little sticks.
Yeah. Oh, maybe they maybe they have like basically slaves who are mana, sensitive, I guess you would say, and they're having them find these places. So now there's like some rescue missions going on too.
And they could be lowlifes. They could be mana addicts, right? There could be something about mana that, like, just feeling its power is addicting to them. And maybe they start brewing tea out of the leaves. They're all addicted to it. So these guys pay them to go find it for them and then report back to them. And they pay them in fucking tea. Like, dude, you could go anywhere with it.
Wow, dude. Okay, so that's pretty dark, but I kind of like it. I mean,
well, did you play World of Warcraft at all?
No, I mean I tried, but no.
There was I can't remember which expansion it was. It's the one when Demon Hunters came out, but there was a bunch of elves that were like all gnarly and corrupted, kind of like Gollum style, and they were addicted to like eating mana crystals. And so they were all gnarly, and they hung out in places where you could find these mana crystals. And I was kind of thinking like that imagery of these like kind of twisted, like mana addicted weirdos is kind of dark and fun.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
I'm just throwing whatever ideas we can get at it, because like this is the one section that was like really not a lot to start with. So whatever ideas we can come up with, and then keep what sounds cool.
Yeah. Are extremely rare. Extremely rare. Outside of the tree itself are extremely rare. However, the cult has gotten its hands on them and used it to brew or make or synthesize.
Yeah. Sorry, I got it. Okay, here's the thing. So they have figured out how to cultivate the saplings. There is one group of people who figured out how to cultivate the saplings. The problem is when you grow saplings and it's not connected to the mother tree, it becomes corrupted. So the mana that these people are addicted to is dark.
Ooh,
it's a dark energy. It's not the same thing. They think it is because they don't know any better, but that's why they're addicted to it, and it's messing up their brains.
Oh, I kind of like that. I kind of like the dark mana tree offlane or offshoots.
Yeah, any children trees of the mana tree, if they're not connected to the neural network of the main tree, they don't grow the same. They become corrupted.
Yeah, okay. I'll just leave it at they will become corrupted, and we can like kind of venture off with from that. Basically, what I was thinking, like when you were talking about that, was I forget the name. It's something you guys fought in the Curse of Strahd campaign, the Guthala tree or whatever.
Oh, yeah, Yaglith? Was it a? No, it was a. Oh, when that was right before Shadow got his sword.
Yeah.
That was up in the old cemetery, that gnarly tree that had like the big bleeding wound in it.
Right. Yes. So.
Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking with this. Is like it's a corrupted mana tree, and it's also sentient. Like taken away from it, it becomes its own thing, and because it is no longer connected to the source,
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. So what happened was the mana tree, spreading its roots, it starts to grow a sapling, and the mana tree is like, oh, wow, this is a really, really, really good spot. I could almost potentially grow another tree here and help spread magic throughout the world even better and have like almost like a hot spot where it can spread even further from that point. But deep underneath is this large like cavern full of, like, think of it like an underwater cave that has like a lake in it, right?
Yeah.
But whatever's in the lake is like the remnants of Azagul or some other, like maybe that one of the forgotten gods. Like, you remember I was talking about how there was 2 lost ones?
Yeah.
And we were going to use one to kind of help do the tree thing in the Shadowdark era to bring it into Daggerheart.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe the other lost one is like some crazy deep sea gnarly creature thing that's been hiding in the crust of the earth forever, and it lives in this corrupted pool. So the roots of this new tree go down into this corrupted pool and start drinking from it to feed itself, and the host tree goes, oh no, that's wrong, and pulls back its connection to that tree. But that tree had already grown so well that it was big enough to stay alive and feed from a corrupted pool.
Oh, okay. That's sick.
And that's where the corrupted mana stuff comes from.
Okay. Von Fungus said, dude, mana heads are so annoying. They get all twitchy and try to steal your stuff. Yeah, man. That's how I'm picturing it. Like, they're not really themselves anymore, dude. They just want to take shit so that way they can get some more of the mana stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then he was like, oh, so a hive mind element? I'm like, yeah, like, I don't know if I would say hive mind element. I guess so. But I would say it's all one until one of them is, it's all like one thing, you know, and then until one of them gets separated from the root system.
Yeah, and then you would basically have your dark shaman, right? So you have this whole other group of people where it's like you have a different shaman for this corrupted tree who's selling it like it's the same thing, but he's actually a crazy old mad mage dude that like wants power for himself and he needs an army. So he's getting all these people addicted to corrupted mana. Like, oh man, you could go far with this if you wanted to.
Yeah, I just wanted to like kind of get a concrete thing as far as
Mhm.
like the saplings from the mana tree. Like if they are disconnected from the mana tree, do they still become corrupted?
They're
As far
supposed to
as
die, I
yeah,
think. If because the tree itself was like, no, something's wrong. Like this isn't right. This isn't the right place for this, and it pulls back. It's supposed to die, but because it had already gotten down into this corrupted pool of one of the lost ones, it's now feeding itself, and it doesn't need its connection to the mana tree anymore.
okay.
So as the mana tree feels out throughout the world of good places to make saplings, it's a normal thing for it to be like, oh no, this isn't good. It'll pull back, and the roots will die, and the sapling will die. No one will even know probably. But this particular location is feeding it, so it's already too late, and the tree's gonna grow and be all gnarly.
Psychedelics. 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 Hi, similar to the psychedelics used in the mana tree ritual by the shaman. Let's see. However, a lot of howevers. However, a user of this drug becomes quickly quickly addicted and becomes mana sensitive. These users are fed the drug by the cult and used as slaves to find the mana hotspots where the saplings grow. All right, cool. Let's see, and then one sapling reaches down into a dark, forbidden pool.
Yes, forbidden.
Of corrupted waters. Corrupted by one of the lost forgotten gods in Shadowdark. Shadowdark. Okay. Vaughn says it sounds like an aboleth, and I'm just like, yeah, let's kind of like making an aboleth kind of like appearing god, you know? I think that's cool. The god is similar. Yeah, is similar in appearance to an aboleth. Sick.
Nice.
I like it.
And you know, I would imagine that there would be like dark, corrupted, evil dryads that want saplings to grow so they can have their own grove. That kind of thing may be going on. I don't know if that's a thing that works for Daggerheart or not, because I don't know a lot about the Daggerheart world.
Yeah, well, that's like one thing that they're gonna have in the playtest is like how to create a bunch of stuff, how to homebrew things. So I can definitely, I think for me, it would easily be attainable to read the spell cards or the domain cards as they call them, and you know, basically like flavor it to where everything's kind of like dark druid like, you know. So we can definitely do that.
So that's a good bit of conflict surrounding the tree, which I think is important. And then I was thinking right before we started, which is usually what happens, is I have a random idea.
Mm-hmm.
For like the next big event other than just like what's going on with the tree. I mean, and it can still have to do with that. I was thinking that the divinities become corrupted similar to how the dragons did, and they start fighting amongst themselves. Then they decide they have to destroy the tree. Now there's still some peoples alive, or well, that still have access and knowledge of the history of what happened during the breach and Shadowdark and everything. That there might be some people who kind of recognize this type of corruption as very similar to what happened to the dragons.
Yeah.
And it could either be Azagul trying to reemerge and use that once again, or that one of the gods like starts a heavenly war with the divinities, and it could have been that lost god that wasn't sought out to find to find the tree and fix everything, right? Because we talked about people trying to get the divinities back and having to go find them one of these lost gods,
Okay.
and getting the divinities back because there wasn't enough mana in the world, magic in the world for the divinities to operate. And that's what the tree was for, was to get the divinities back. But if over time the divinities get corrupted, just like the dragons did back in the day, in a different manner. So instead of it being the merging with the astral plane for mana, it's going to be this other corrupted tree. And that's why I was thinking like maybe the reason that pool is corrupted in that cavern far underground is because it's the other lost god, and he's not nice like the one that everybody's sought out for help.
Yeah.
And then the divinities start getting all wrapped up in it and getting all crazy, and then a potential another civil war type thing breaks out, or a heavenly war with the other gods trying to shut the divinities down.
Right. Because the evil mana tree would also give off mana, right? Which is part of the faint divinity's essences. So if they get close to it, they could definitely start getting under the powers of the evil mana tree, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So
because if you were a sleeping god and it was time for you to wake and do your thing, that would be perfect, right? If you could corrupt the divinities to fight for you, that's all. You got yourself a lot of power right there.
Right. Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking like, this god would wake up and be like, what is going on? Because the mana, everything is so different. And it probably pisses him off. And he's like, I want my own like kind of mana tree. I want my own shit. So he kind of plans out something. He wants to create the world in his own image. Now that it's basically like kind of dropped at his doorstep.
Oh yeah.
Cool. All right, nice. That could be super fun.
I think that would be like high level of play stuff, with the divinities being corrupted and them all basically becoming big bads themselves.
Yes, and I think like at the very start of this war, I would say it's up to the players and their actions to decide how many faint divinities are corrupted.
Yeah.
And how bad this new civil war goes.
Right. Like if maybe they stop some of them from being corrupted, or maybe there's a few of them that realize what's going on and they come to people for help, and they work with everybody and they don't become corrupted.
Yeah. I think that'd be fucking sick.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're new to the channel, just so we are planning all this out as like the base of like, basically if you think of the multiverse, it's like this is Earth Prime kind of timeline, right? But things can change depending on the players during these eras, what happens, and they could stop the breach, they could stop the Civil War, or things could get worse. So I'm gonna like kind of leave it up to that. So that way, each play style, if you're in that world, it might be different, or it's probably going to be different because you never know what the other group has accomplished or failed to do.
Yeah.
Meh. All right, cool.
Basically, he just wants it to be as difficult for him to DM as possible.
Yeah.
I think it'll work out.
Yeah, absolutely. This is like, I don't know. I think this is super awesome because I'll have these big milestone things happening in the background, and if the characters get to a certain level, then they'll be introduced to some of these things, With the goal of having all the parties reach level 10, which is like the level cap in Daggerheart right now.
And I love this too because we come out of Shadowdark, right? Which is a brutal time. And everybody's really trying, for the most part, we have defectors and people who disagree with how things should be done and they want to do things their way. That'll play out however it does. But overall, the consensus is, hey, we're pioneers again. Let's go retake the world. Let's go make stake a claim on the new world for ourselves and rebuild society above ground. And oh no, what happened to the divinities? Like, what's going on? We got to get that figured out. And then they finally kind of fix things. And it's perfect because it's like, we did it. We fixed things. Things are going to get better now. But the very thing they did to fix things eventually leads to the next humongous problem that's going to affect the whole world.
Yeah, right.
Because we're talking thousands of years. People don't know what's going on anymore. It's a whole new world again.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Like from the end of Dungeons and Dragons era to the beginning of Shadowdark, man. Bro, nobody knows. Like that's like 3,000 years. So much lore was destroyed in the first rampage. So absolutely. So Shadowdark's gonna be super scary, trying to retake fucking places. Starting to retake places, set up strongholds, moving forward. But there's still so much in the world after the mana tree that this is like my idea of Daggerheart is like there's gonna be basically guilds, right? Like mercenary guilds, like those are like super popular. So instead of couriers now, it's adventurers in these guilds, and like every time you get into a guild, they give you basically a magical brand that you can show off and be like, yes, I'm actually a member of this guild. And people will take you seriously and like kind of give you a little bit more respect because you actually go out on missions for the average folk, for the citizens, to help out. Do some gather quests, gather, fetch, bring 10 mushrooms to somebody.
Wouldn't it be funny to play a TTRPG like an MMO? You just walk into a town, there's like 40 quests and they all suck.
Yeah. I need you to kill 10 rats in my basement.
It's basically like, go grind, but we're going to pretend you're actually helping.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh.
So one thing that I did mention to you, I think it was last episode or not, I reached out to a YouTuber. Oh man, and you know what? There it is. Let me go to his thing. So his name is Quills and Quests. He's only got like 174 subscribers, way more than I have right now, but he's a a newer YouTube channel, not a lot of people at the moment, but he has some really cool videos. I like his style. One thing that he made was this tavern called Quills and Quests Tavern. and it's basically a
Okay.
gathering hub. And I asked him, I'm like, hey, can I use this and like stream about it and stuff? He's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So please go and check out his channel. He has some like he only has 7 videos, but they're very insightful as far as VTTs and like some other features going on with Kanka, and that's how I discovered him because I got into Kanka.
So, what is the tavern? Is it just like a place you can pop into a game that you're running and use? Is that what it is?
Yeah, basically it's something that you can pop into your world, and it's just a place to it's the tavern, right? Like you guys all meet up in a tavern and you get this
Right,
quest
right.
that, so it's called the Quills and Quest Tavern, a legendary gathering place where heroes forge their paths. Share epic tales, finding camaraderie and comfort on their journey to greatness. And in this, he made like a little. I mean, you're seeing my screen, right?
Yeah.
So he's made a actual like a PDF file about it. It's like, hey, using this place, the worlds, of Quills and Quests, the permissions and everything. He goes over the tavern staff. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 different people that he's fleshed out personalities for, and they will have some quests for you. There's different parts of the tavern. The Heroes Hall, which is like kind of used to commemorate the legends, right? The heroes that we heard about in Shadowdark and also during the Breach. And then they have different other places as far as like the Adventurers Academy, Performers Plaza, Tower of Tomes, and Questers Quarters. And I just thought this was like really neat as a like very famous gathering hub where people can people can start their quests here because there are other adventurers in here. And maybe the Quills and Quest Tavern is owned by a guild, right? So that guild will have all these people in here, and you just come in and you can apply. There's probably like some sort of initiation, and then you get your magical brand saying like, yeah, you're a member of this guild, and some of the best legendary heroes come out of here.
I like that too with the Heroes Hall thing because it gives a place, it gives a home for the lore of the other adventures, right?
Yeah.
So the new adventurers coming in, they can hear about the deeds of the things that happened in different eras. So it is a place that kind of helps keep the history of adventures too.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I also like the available activities that he put here. So like in the Heroes Hall, fighters can spar with veterans, sharing combat techniques, along with honoring these heroes through banners, tapestries, stained glass murals, and statues of great heroes. And then paladins might lead discussions on codes of honor and justice. Rangers could plan expeditions into the wild or track mythical beasts, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I really like it. He goes on and on about the different places and the available activities in them for each class. After that, he talks about the staff and like kind of quotes that they've said, but also their kind of personality. So like one is Luna. Luna is a compassionate caretaker of the Questers Quarters Inn. Her healing hands and kind heart make her a beloved figure, and she's devoutly married to Solus, who's another guy in this place. And her quote is, "Healing is more than mending wounds. It's kindling hope in weary souls." I'm like, oh, dude, that sounds sick.
Oh, yeah. They put a lot of work into this. This is really sick.
Yeah, dude, he really did, and I liked it a lot. That's why I was just like, yo, can I use this? Because this seems really neat. And
yeah, that's
like
awesome.
A little map right there. Oh, I got cough. So my idea is like make this like the base, or like the main one that we're gonna have like kind of people come out, and I'm gonna kind of redo the maps to expand it so that way it really feels like a massive place. With different levels. So maybe this will be like a 4-story type of mega tavern,
Oh, yeah. Because it's got a library, it's got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really cool.
Basically, being in a guild has its perks,
Yeah, yeah. Like so, if you're a cleric and you're part of the guild, now you have access to all their writings and history, and I mean that's super valuable instead of having to be like, Oh, just go past that mountain pass. There's a tower. It's about 8 days from here. They may have what you're looking for.
Right.
I think. Says some random dude on the side of the road.
Yeah, for sure. I just think this is awesome because we can have like the drinking place be a little bit more public, maybe. And that'll be separate from everything else in this tavern. So that way commoners and like people outside of the guild can come in and just have a drink with some of the heroes, kind of like do a little fanfare thing, be like, oh
Oh
my
yeah, yeah,
gosh.
yeah. And then you can still hear your rumors and you know
Yeah.
the woes of the people as well. But then there's like if you're in the guild, then you have access to all the other areas that could be more useful to adventurers.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. But also the adventurers themselves could be like, yeah, I heard this and in Hush while I was there, you know, visiting their tavern that they heard about the man bear pig rampaging through the woods, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we should do a man bear pig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's a good idea.
But one thing that I wanted to continue from Shadowdark is basically the need for guilds and adventurers, you know what I'm saying? Because like during the Shadowdark, those are going to be adventures where those are going to be adventures where a character dying is super probable, right? Because you played Shadowdark.
Right.
So I'm gonna be like running those campaigns like that for Shadowdark, but like they're pushing back the darkness, and then in Daggerheart is kind of like keeping the peace and also ensuring like a return of anything is stopped, basically, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but at the same time, because of the effects of the mana tree not being very well understood, the world's also changing in unknown ways.
Yeah, I like that. I like
And
emphasizing
everybody's
that
all
part.
for it, or they're like, "Yeah, this is good, this is great, this is fixing everything, yay!" But it's changing the whole world.
Yeah. Guild halls are not popular, are common throughout the lands. They usually pop up near towns and cities to ensure the peoples are protected and safe, along with listening to rumors about forgotten dungeons or strange occurrences. The world is still dangerous, even though the bulk of Azugul's army has been dealt with. Oh. The mana tree itself is not that well understood, even with the shaman speaking to it. And sometimes violent mutations occur.
Yeah.
Okay. Like it. I like it a lot. Anything else you can think of for this section right here before we head on over to the playtest?
Not off the top of my head. I think we've actually got a good little bit of meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
In pretty quick order. I like where it's going.
Yeah. All right. let's flesh out the world a little bit using the playtest itself. What am I doing? Let me take that off. There we go. Boom. Okay. That's not it. Boom. That's not it. There you go. All right, creating so this is in the actual playtest material itself. Unfortunately, I had to like kind of crop it so that way it can be readable for everyone. So on the left side is like creating your world, and it's near the bottom of the playtest. And it's talking about creating a one-shot together. And this is it. This is creating your world, and here's creating a one-shot together. And it's kind of like a Mad Lib style. And what I figured we could do is in this section, we'll make a couple adventures. We're going to answer these questions. We're going to we're going to write it all down, and we will have these adventures that will flesh out off screen, basically, more and more. So that way it's still kind of fresh and, fun to play for players.
Yeah.
We'll do a couple of these, and then that'll probably be it for this episode, depending on the time. But after that, we're going to continue on with world building, because there are places within the playtest. It has 3 areas that are very well fleshed out. So here's one. It's the Sablewood, which is in the quick start adventure. But it talks to you about a lot of stuff that is actually going on in the Sablewood. Things that you might find, like an entire village taken over by hunting trees in the night, now abandoned. What the fuck are hunting trees? What the heck? God dang it, friggin'
trees that hunt people.
Yeah. So that's something that we can. I'm sure it's an adversary in the adversaries. Maybe not, because Strixwolf is here. And that pops up correctly. So, I don't know. Maybe we need to homebrew some hunting trees. Okay. And then the deafening whispers of 1,000 leaves and rustling in the wind. Oh, sorry. Other than that, you got your type of fauna, the type of creatures in there. Like, it's really laid out, and I really love it. And then you got your principles for running this area. You have landmarks, Titan steps, and it talks about that. Then you have different settlements, some areas that could be a threat, that could harm, could be a quest to go to. I definitely want to incorporate some of this. There's a river there that helps out with the economy and like how people get around through the Sablewood, and just on and on about that. So there's the Sablewood and the Rime of the Colossi, which is a hostile stretch of frozen wastes where colossal metal limbs reach toward the sky while their bodies remain encased in the ice below.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That sounds cool as fuck.
It sounds pretty sick. Then Gandalia, the city of obligation, a fabulously wealthy city whose obsession with debt haunts its citizens long after they've shuffled off this mortal coil. So this makes me think of like Outward. Is that the game? Like basically like, oh, it's your fault this happened, so now you have a blood debt. Or you like your father. Your father messed up and you have to still pay for it. And it's just like, dude, that really sucks.
Well, it says it's haunted too, right? So I actually think that like if you look at it, it says frozen, desolate, or wait, one of them, it said it was haunted. But I'm guessing that like if you die with like a certain amount of debt, dude, maybe your spirit is tethered to that area and you actually haunt the place.
Oh, I do like that. I like that too. That sounds like a really cool idea that we can expand on. Also, part of the playtest, there's themes that like give you like a good idea of this area to describe it. So like haunting would be, it's alluring, it's captivating, it's covert, cryptic, cursed, eerie, gloomy, harrowing, lethal, nightmarish, terrifying, and unfathomable. So could be one of it could be one of those things. But then the last one is the Kainekozanjags, a moving mountain where the stone dances by day, slumbers by night, and the deep mines provide only questions. This right here, I'm super excited about, kind of fleshing out with you in this world. Taking what they have already here and kind of picking from it and being like, yeah, that's really cool. Let's add that. So that's what we're going to be doing in the future episodes for Daggerheart.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be doing also the same thing for the Shadowdark. Like I guess in my mind, I don't know, we didn't really talk about this, is like we're gonna flesh out Daggerheart now, right? Like put a bunch of places, get a really good idea of the world, the politics and stuff. And I really want to, use these places that they have in the playtest, because they spend a lot of time writing this, and I don't want to just be like, yeah, that's cool, I'm just gonna homebrew everything, So,
I mean, it also makes it easy for you because there's hidden in all of this is inspiration for us.
Yeah.
So, it just makes it easier for us, and there's no sense in wasting it. It's already really cool looking stuff so far. So
yeah,
it'll help us fill out the world even more.
Hell yeah. All right, so how am I going to organize this? Maybe I'll make a new page, and I will call this Adventure Time. And then I will make some sub pages. This one will be called Daggerheart. A sub page of that. All right, cool. Now we had that, and now we can start talking about this one shot together. So these little, little mini campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna take this and we're gonna do it like probably 2 times. I think we got enough time for that, but let me know if we don't.
I've got 19 minutes.
Okay, we'll do 1. I'm getting it all set up right now. Transfer to over.
Because I'll probably have questions about these places.
Okay, yeah.
Or do you just RNG it and just roll with it, or are you trying to make this place fit within the map and make sense with the other locations we've decided for Shadowdark?
I kind of want to like basically RNG this, basically like pick things that sound really cool, like for this first one that we're gonna do, and maybe we can actually count them and roll dice afterwards for next episode or so. And
yeah, we could do an RNG one. That might be fun.
Yeah, really RNG it. But right now I just want to like get all this stuff together. It sounds all cool, and we can just place it somewhere in the world ourselves.
Okay.
All right, so the first one is our story takes place within the kingdom of what? We got Etheria, Willowfell, Rumari, Wintersun, Stonefire, Bellsong, or Dathari. Dathari?
Is Stonefire, Bellsong, Dathari one place?
No, I think
3 kingdoms that all border each other.
I think this is a typo. I think these should have been these.
I got you. I think Winter's Sun sounds cool.
Okay. Winter's Sun. Maybe this will be closer to the rhyme of the Colossi, that frozen place.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be a kingdom near that. Kingdom of Winter's Sun, and I'll put that near the rhyme of the Colossi. All right. We are currently traveling through blank. And we got the Dawn Hollow, Indigo Shadow, Rathmire, the Wander, Mistran, Atlas, or Talal.
I'd say my 2 votes would be either Indigo Shadow and
that's my
Mistran.
First. I'm gonna go with Indigo Shadow. I'm like, that sounds cool.
That sounds cool as shit.
Now we have to think about like, what is Indigo Shadow? Like maybe it's some sort of like massive frozen mechanical thing that was used during the breach, and now it's just fucking broken down. And that's one of the first things that these people did to reverse engineer during the Shadowdark era, basically the end of it, to create planks. Maybe Azagul had fucking basically Gundams walking around, dude. Trying to, on top, dude. That's the way that I think about it. I'm like, dude, he had Gundams, and they were going around fucking up the people. God dang it, messing up the people. And Indigos is just a nickname for one of those Gundams.
Indigo Shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's best known for
Gundam? Question mark?
Sacred Wards sound cool. but also the shimmer hiding it sounds.
Oh man, I feel so silly. Oh no, that's fine. I'm writing it. Sorry, I'm writing it down in my OneNote, but I'm like, oh, they can't see that. They can only see what you're seeing. So, but that's fine. That's okie dokie. All right, that's not what I want. Bloop.
Bloop.
Okay. All right. Best known for its massive spires, the great tree, the shimmer hiding it, its sacred woods, the mysterious powers that keep it afloat.
If it's called Indigo Shadow, I think the shimmer hiding it makes sense.
Okay.
Like maybe no matter where the sun is, Indigo always casts a shadow in the same direction. It's like a magical shadow.
Oh, okay. I like that. The shimmer hiding it. Oh no! What so you would say the shimmer is basically the sunlight? The shimmer hiding it.
No, think of shimmer like a fog that obscures something, but more of a magical nature, right?
Oh, okay. Basically a glowing fog.
Mm-hmm. Like almost like a silvery, shiny fog.
Yeah.
Maybe iridescent.
Ooh. I like that word, iridescent. I don't know how to spell it, but it sounds cool. Okay, cool. And the number 4, dark forest, towering mountains, blistering deserts. We can't have that. Or dense jungles. I don't know. I kind of think with the way that we're going, we should have the towering mountains.
Like towering mountains that surround it, and then there's this shimmering shadow that gets cast down into this big ass valley where it's all dark and mysterious and unknown.
Yeah.
I think towering mountains is the way to go. Like maybe Indigo, like if Indigo was this Gundam, right? And he like was finally put down on top of this mountain, and it casts the shadow into the valley between these towering mountains.
Yeah.
So like if you were up on top of the mountain and you looked down into the valley, you wouldn't even be able to see anything. It's like obscured by the shimmering mist.
Cool. Do you think the shimmering mist comes from the mountains or comes from the Gundam?
I mean, I don't know. Would your character know that?
No, the characters wouldn't. I just meant for us.
Oh, would we know that?
Yeah.
I think that maybe there's some lore about like around it, like it has something to do with Indigo. Like I said, I like the idea of like it looks like there's a shadow being cast from the Gundam itself into the valley, but no matter what direction, no matter where the sun is in the sky, the shadow's always cast in the same direction. So it's like obviously some weird magical thing that has to do with Indigo.
Okay. Yeah, we can flesh that out some more. Sounds good. All right. Let's see. After last night's catastrophic fire, attack by the Horde, terrifying storm, assassination of the Queen.
Assassination of the Queen sounds a little bit too abrupt for like a tier 0, right?
Yeah.
And because we don't really have anything for that yet. Terrifying storm? I mean, how terrifying is a storm?
I don't know. Terrifying storm within the shimmer. The shimmer storm.
The shimmer storm. Well, let's see where this is going. This morning we found that the events of the previous evening, we know how to fix this. We need to. Okay. There's got to be a reason to go into the towering mountains, into the shimmering mist, right?
Yeah.
So an attack by a horde would kind of make sense.
All right.
Like maybe they came from there.
Yeah.
Or it's believed they did, right? So
yeah.
Last night's attack by a horde. Any here have...
It's like they're kind of like sparkly orcs that came down and attacked. It's like the Twilight orcs.
Glitter orcs.
Yeah, glitter orcs.
Yeah. I'm into it.
Attacked by the horde. Many here have been badly injured, decided to leave, been caught in a terrible curse, or started an uprising.
Say badly injured.
Yeah. Badly injured. This morning we found out that the events of the previous evening left someone we care about here near death, destroyed the town's protection rune, awoken a throng of spirits, or angered an ancient beast. Ooh, I kind of like all those.
What do you think about an ancient beast?
Yeah, I like that. Ancient beast. Okay. We know how to fix this. We'll need to search for a powerful moonstone relic, retrieve Magister Carax, bring an offering to the grave of the gods, or enlist a tricksome fae.
So okay, go up again. So this area with the mist that we decided,
Yeah.
is that where we are?
That's where...
Or where the adventure is going to go?
Yeah. Our story takes place within the kingdom of Winter's Sun, near the Rime on the Colossi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Near.
We are currently traveling through Indigo's shadow. Best known for the shimmer hiding it. And the Towering Mountains.
We're currently traveling through.
Yeah.
Okay, because I want this to make sense. So there was an attack. People were injured. And then it angered an ancient beast. I don't know. Maybe Magister Carax knows how to fucking deal with the ancient beast. Or bringing an offering to the grave of the gods to calm the beast does kind of make sense.
Yeah. I kind of like. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with the Fae, dude. The tricksome Fae.
God, I always try to avoid Fae stuff, man. It's just, I'm like, I don't know. I don't really want to deal with that.
Yeah, I just think with the mana tree doing this shit in this world, like Fae are completely something different, and they're basically maybe they're all like bipolar in a way, and now that this Fae is helping them, he's like kind of a shady bipolar Fae, and it's kind of rough getting him to help, or him or her or whatever. But there could also be something else that happens with this Fae because of this Fae.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay. And a Fae would probably know about an ancient beast.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like a young Fae, it's an older Fae. So he's known some things and stuff. All right, so our story begins as we prepare to leave for the blank. And that is Towers of Hyle, the Broken Sea, the Great Expanse, Town of Wildfire, Capital of the Kingdom, or the Highland Peaks. Where we might find what we're looking for. So this Fae is gonna maybe lead us to some place.
I'm gonna say either the Towers of Hyle or the Town of Wildfire. The Town of Wildfire sounds like a place that a Fae creature would take you to get help or more information. And Towers of Hyle just sound cool.
Yeah, no.
Maybe there's some ancient knowledge locked away, or it's where the Fae creature likes to keep all his books, or who knows what he's up to.
Yeah. Man, both of those could be cool. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like maybe the horde attack disturbed some like maybe some protection runes that were like long forgotten. Like this beast was like trapped. This ancient beast was trapped maybe underground or within a cocoon, and it had some wards on it. you know. But due to the horde attack, some things got out of control, and the ward itself was damaged, and maybe from a fire, you know, from a torch that was like thrown off or something, or you know, maybe the battle like went through that area and like messed up this giant rune that, you know, you can't really see it or look at it until you're like, you know, 200 feet up looking down, and there's this massive rune that's created, you know, through these different markings.
Ooh, maybe they had a shaman with them or a caster of some sort, and the use of magic near the rune disturbed it.
Yeah, or maybe like a certain type of magic disturbed it. Hey, look at us fleshing stuff out. Okay, so
like maybe they were trying to use a spell to like unlock everyone's doors, or you know, like some type of like knock type spell or opening spell of some sort, and it dispelled the rune's protective barrier.
Yeah, I kind of like that, because in this world, a lot of these towns, just like the Sablewood, has 4 runes that encase the town of Hush and protect it from, you know, dangers and stuff. So
yeah,
I would imagine this horde. Well, no, because the way that I'm reading this is that we're traveling, right? We're traveling through Indigo Shadow.
So it would have been an encampment. So maybe we were camping next to this rune the whole time, didn't even know it.
Yeah. And maybe, you know, well, let's say like, you know, there's these runes, right, that protect towns and shit. But you can have a smaller, well, not necessarily smaller, but you can have one for yourself. And a lot of carriages will...
like like a rune that creates a zone of protection around the camp. Yeah. We were traveling with somebody who has that kind of power, and they've been that's how they're paying their way for their safe passage, is they protect us at night with their rune. Right. And so a orc shaman shows up, goes to dispel the rune, and doesn't realize he's dispelling the one right next to us. And now something that was buried there on purpose a long time ago in this mysterious, misty place where no one should ever happen upon it has been freed. And it goes off on a rampage, and now we've got to figure out how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, why is it there? What was it? What did anybody see it? Like, it's gonna roam the countryside and start murdering things. We've got to solve this problem now.
Absolutely, I like that. That's pretty cool. And then we, during that same course of action, like after it's already like trampled and left and stuff, you know, a fae comes around and just like kind of cusses us out because we woke up the ancient thing that it's.
Oh, he's gonna get in big trouble. Because because he's already in trouble, and that's why he's been put on guard duty at the rune.
Yeah, I like that.
He's really mad at us.
All right,
you guys are going to be in so much trouble. I'm in so much trouble.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a guard.
Yeah,
but
he was sleeping.
Away for personal reasons, away for personal indulgence.
And
that could be anything. And is going to be in so much trouble now.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's just like, okay, all right, we have to redo the ritual, right? It's super complicated. We have to go to the Towers of Hyle.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Okay. We'll need to. Okay, so our story begins as we prepare to leave for the Tower of Isles. Where we might find what we're looking for. Sick. Cool. And then this prologue and adventure is basically done, but you also have these questions right here, like, hey, once the party leaves town, they find, well, what could they find? I know you have to go soon, so we can do this next session, but you know, we'll go over what the party finds. As the party journeys towards their destination, something can happen. An unlikely ally joins them. A dangerous portion of landscape impedes their path, which could definitely be likely. As the party reaches their objective, they discover somebody has come to intercept them. The place is unexpectedly dangerous. I think I'd like to go with that one. Or someone was expecting them.
Someone was expecting them could be a fun plot twist too.
Yeah. Actually, both of these two I like. Yeah, you're right. And then when the finally finds what they came for, they learn somebody else is looking for it, or it's not quite what they expected. That could be a thing. They need
Mhm.
something else to succeed. Accomplishing their goal will put others in danger. That I like as well. I like these two. But yeah, so you do that, and then you come down to themes, and you kind of like make your place. But we already know where this is going to be kind of close to, which
Yeah.
is Rime of the Colossi, which is a frozen, desolate, and haunted tier 1 place. It's close
Hell
to it. So the kingdom of the winter's sun, it's a bountiful place, but it's like kind of like the opposite of South Carolina. It's just like it's
Mhm.
winter most of the time here, and then
Yeah.
you'll get a couple months of spring and summer. But I guess this could like kind
Cool.
of be our Icewind Dale area.
Sure.
I think that'd be sick. Cool.
That's a really cool, quick, little, easy way. I mean, look, just right there, like that basis for an adventure in a couple, 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Yeah, like 15 minutes. We have a good idea of
You could literally just sit down at a table with some people and just be like, boop, 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 boop. Okay, let's play it.
Yep.
That's really neat.
It's really neat. I really love what they're doing here. It's like they put together all their experiences as a DM or game master or whatever, and been like, here, let's help out those who are going to come after us. Stuff like that. Like this,
Very
like
cool.
even if you have no wantings of playing Daggerheart, I would still make a free account on Demiplane.com and check out the playtest, because they have really good information for running a campaign, running an adventure, information for the GM as to like, hey, don't do these type of pitfalls, yada yada yada, stuff
Mhm.
like that. So like here, pitfalls to avoid: undermining the hero. So basically, instead of being like, yeah, you fail or whatever, be like, yeah, make it a scene. Your blades slices through the air with grace, but the cut coming in perfectly at the guard's shoulder, but she reacts just fast enough to bring up the haft of her halberd to block your blow, then swings her weapon to try to pin you against the wall. She's way faster than a random guard at an outpost like this should be. What's a soldier with skill like that doing stuck all the way out here? Thinking of
Mhm.
stuff like that, and
Yeah.
as they fail is really cool, because now they're like, hey, maybe I don't want to kill this soldier. Maybe I want to talk to her and be like, dude, why are you doing this? Stuff like
Yeah.
that could like definitely change the flow. The tactics of the players, I guess you would say. Yeah. And then they go over the principles. These are all the principles, and then like they actually go in depth on them, which just really, I really like, and I'm in awe of this playtest so far. There's a lot of things that aren't completed yet, like customizing your game. Where is it? That's not it. Creating your world. Well, just so you know, there's a lot of things that aren't done yet as far as homebrew stuff. I just can't find it right now because this is a very big playtest.
Very big. Yeah, there's a lot going on, but it's pretty well laid out.
Mm-hmm. What was it down here? I guess not. Environmental balance. Yeah. I don't know, but I think that's all that we got for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. I hope that you guys leave some comments, some ideas, so that way we can, talk about them and hopefully incorporate them into this world that we're building. That will, go from a Dungeons and Dragons type era to a Shadowdark, or no, Dungeons and Dragons to a Breach, which is kind of like a multitude of systems, and then Shadowdark, and then finally Daggerheart, which we're now kind of fleshing out, like putting places down. We're going to make some adventures together, and we would love your input on those adventures and any ideas that you guys have. So
Absolutely.
you got anything you want to say before we head out?
Yeah, if you get an opportunity to do something nice for somebody, take the opportunity.
Yeah. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and I look forward to any comments that you guys leave down below. That was a kitten. It's running away.
Escape.
That was not me. All right, cool. And then next time we will come back to finishing out that like one-shot adventure, and we'll go from there.
Mhm.
thanks for joining us. I appreciate it a lot. And we will see you next Thursday, right? You don't have anything going on?
Yep. I'll be here. See you next time, guys.
All right. 7:30 Eastern next week. Okay. Bye.